Everybody, welcome. I'm a bit early on a Sunday morning, at least I think I'm a Sunday morning for everywhere in the continental U.S. Afternoon for those who are watching from Europe. Though according to my view counter, nobody's actually watching as of yet, which is understandable. My channel has not been in free fall, but I have been slowly losing more subscribers than I've been gaining. And let's see, there should be a little, oops, what happened there? Looks like the roll up on this one is a little off. Let me sit down and resolve this real quick while I open up. Okay, let's see. There we go. Looks like I only got half of the lark's head knot in place. All right, so this should be good here. All right, so for this one here, it starts on the backmost, on the, I can't see it, but on this side. First one will go on the right side. Second one of each color will go on the left side. We're going to have 17 per on the right side. We're going to have 16 per on the left side. Hey, we got 5 people. A bunch of people just joined in. Thank you. Welcome. Good to have you here. Looks like they're all on Twitter, though. So if you do chat on Twitter, you will be able to, I will be able to see you in Streamyard. All right. So I did get the rest of the, and I adjusted my chair so I can stand up from it. I did get the rest of the tama set up. Just need to figure out where I put the spray bottle. There it is. Nope, that's not the one. That's a different spray bottle. Where is it? Give me a second, folks. It indeed was not the spray bottle. It just looked a lot like it and was close to where the other one was. Let's go ahead and mist this down. And we are going to start off and give us a nice, oops. Looks like at least one of these. It doesn't want to untwist. Looks like it's that one. Let's see. I see that I got caught on the bottom of the phone. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Let's go ahead and trim these up even. And go ahead and wrap around the finger a couple of times. And walk my way back here. And let's go ahead and get a tama set up. I do see I got some chats. I see at least Connor and Gwen. Good to have you on here. Going to be discussing some relatively serious things relatively soon. The upshot is, other than potentially the Adderall making my situation worse, I still have no idea what it is that's causing my weakness. And apparently my work has gotten concerned enough that they may not let me come back to work on Monday. They sent me home on Wednesday. I needed to get a doctor's note. I got a doctor's note, and they're concerned that whether or not they will be able to get my brain to function here, whether or not they will be able to tape here is sticking a bit different than I'm used to. Let's get this set up to the right length. There we go. Anyway, they're concerned whether or not they'll be able to accommodate what I need to work safely. I'm sure they can. Whether they agree with that is a different story. And I may not be able to work. Sorry about that. There we go, nice clean cut. And we will quickly pass this through here and tie it off on the other end of the tama. Move it over here, make it a little easier to tie it off. So I am fairly stressed at the moment, but I want to at least do something fun with you folks. And setting up braids is fun for me. I got about a 2.5 hour later start than I wanted because I was tired. Mrs. Torrin will be back from church in probably an hour and a half. I'm not sure if I will be done setting up by then. This is much easier to set up with than a pickup braid. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm expecting to have some overlap. Let's give this a nice tug, see if I got even tensioning. Yes, it does appear that I have even tensioning. So let's go ahead and roll this up. I did essentially get my 3D printer working again, though the print I was working on failed because I was trying to be frugal. I accidentally paused it and then didn't get the new filament loaded up properly, which resulted in the print wanting to print on air, and so the particular printer I got, I tried modifying the G code to where it would start up, but no, it started up with the wiping process, which I wasn't fully understanding of the code because it's macros, not necessarily G code. And as a result, it knocked the print a little bit off center, and it's like, okay, it's not worth doing that. So, but at least now that I've resolved the problem, I can start printing again. So I switched to a 0.8 millimeter nozzle so I can hopefully make parts relatively quickly. All right, so let's catch up with chat here. Connor says, happy Easter, Torrin. How are you feeling? Weak, but functional and relatively happy. And Gwen says, hello. And Gwen says, happy Easter, everyone. And Connor says, happy Easter, Gwen. By the way, Connor, I saw your super chat to Nick last night, and it was nice that you did that. And I do admit that Nick's response made me cry a little bit, because your dad was somebody special, and I'm glad that I got a chance to know him more than just seeing his videos. Yep, I can indeed stand up from there regularly. All right, so let's get on to the next one here. Need a little bit more misting. It's not quite super dry season here anymore, but still got a little bit of static going on. Let's go ahead and these are rattling just a little bit, but not too bad. As a matter of fact, getting ready for the stream, I was listening through Nick's live stream from last night. I was up to the point where he was going over Kurt reading Megan's letter. That was very frustrating. Yeah, one that's definitely being a pain in the butt on here. Hopefully that'll resolve fairly quickly. Let's think probably I should start pre-staging the tama before I pull on the next one. So try to remember to do that. Get this one tied off and walk my way back. Yeah. So yeah, the biggest stress I got right now is whether or not I will have a job Monday. Theoretical worst case, if I don't, or if they're just temporarily laying me off or whatnot, I can probably get unemployment, but that's not full recovery. And trying to get the side business started, I've been running more close to the edge than I would like. So if I can't do that, one of the things I'm definitely going to try and be doing is getting as much side business going as I can, which is like 3D printing, Takadai making, warping stand making, stuff that I have to be careful of as well, but I think I can at least do because I am the owner and manager and can decide what is acceptable and what isn't. All right, let's see. I don't see a definite problem there at the moment, so we'll just cut this one here. Yep. And let's see. Okay. So that is the side we're dealing with. All right. And shift the tama here to make it easier to tie off. Since this is a bit shorter than the usual ones I do. And I do apologize if you can hear the motorcycle, but it's warming up a bit here, so I've got the curtain or the windows open so that I can get a little more air out. It's not quite up to fan weather, but it's getting close. And those are through there. It's one tie off. Let's make sure I got a hold of everything for the second tie off. Like I mentioned, this is a 66 tama pattern. And we'll have 2 rows of 17 on the right. And okay, that tension is nice and even. And 2 rows of 16 on the left. All right, so, and I'm going to do my usual 1-1 twill start off selvage type thing. All right, so we are looking at it like this. All right, so I will do under for the first, and then a couple more of these, and this D-ring should be a little more stabilized. All right, so 1, 2, 3, oops, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll do it up here just so that we're not sitting on any of the dividing lines. All right. Stand up here. Actually, let me catch up with chat real quick. All right. And Gwen says, has everybody found the like button? Thank you for that reminder, Gwen. Currently, we have, let's see, is it telling me? We have 1 like. All right. And looking at Streamyard, we've got 6 people watching on Twitter and 3 on YouTube. And doing a quick check over on the Rumbles, we got 1 person watching over on Rumble. I've been getting people leaving comments in the Rumble streams afterwards, telling me my channel is posed to explode And if I can just partner up with them, I'll make a ton of money, which would be nice, but I seriously doubt that. I need to be a lot more regular in my streaming. And I also need to show up on other people's channels and have other people come and visit mine, so I'm hoping that will happen soon. I did not extend an invite to Megan because apparently my normal headset I have been using in the past for when people join, and I forgot to set up the time ahead of time, is cutting out now. I started doing this when I was doing gaming streams. Speaking of which, I should probably do more of those as well. But anyway, when I was doing the gaming streams, I was having sound issues and it would cut out. So I got a headphone cable for like a non-Bluetooth set of headphones. The only thing is that it just barely makes it for sitting down and game streaming. So I need to get a longer one if I'm going to be doing things like this and having a guest on so I can hear them and not have like a super echo thing going on. So I will be picking up one of those in the next couple of days. So if Megan does want to come on or anybody else wants to come on, it's not a big pain in the butt. Once I've got that done, I'll start extending her invitations again to the stream. And if she doesn't ever have the time to come on, that's perfectly fine. The fact that she's letting me do this for her is going to help my channel a fair amount. And it's something nice that I can do for her because I really appreciate the type of coverage she does. I don't necessarily agree with her 100% on all the stuff she covers, but I think that for the type of society that we live in, we need to have journalists who can do the type of coverage she does. And the fact that she's willing to do it, I think, is a wonderful thing. And as some people have said before, I don't always agree with all of my opinions. There's definitely no shade being thrown there. All of my interactions with her have been wonderful. And what I've heard so far, the letter that she wrote for Nick, reflects that as well. She's never not going to tell you her opinion, but she is definitely somebody that, if she considers it, I would definitely consider her to be a good friend. All right. Yep, that's the right spot there. Let's go ahead and bring this back. Make sure I don't lose tension on it. Let's reshift the tama. But as you folks can see, this is definitely going to be faster than my normal custom braid setups. Mainly because I'm not having to do a separate tama on each end. I can do it on just the one tama. Also, it's fewer tama than my normal custom braids. The next one, which is still scheduled to be Aussie Overlord, I just bumped this up because I needed to do something. And I was having an issue doing design work. And at least this gets me moving in the right direction. And even though he's apparently fading in the background, it's a metaphorical poke in the eye to Mr. Bruce. Because apparently I'm not a good enough friend of Megan's for him to unsolicitedly email me horrible things that he wants to say. All right. Yeah, looks like I got a bit of fuzz here. Is that on one of the threads originally, or does it pick it up on the ground? Oh, that's a little bit of plastic from when I was doing the wheel. Speaking of which, we still have not gotten a single cat to get on the wheel yet. So my niece has some younger cats, and we're going to go ahead and give it to her so that, let's see, we were doing under on the first one here. All right, and we'll get the same spot here. Hopefully that'll settle out a little bit soon. All right. And we're ready for another orange. Set up the tama beforehand. Actually, I will set up two, or I'll get two of them ready to go before each pass. That'll speed things up as we get closer to the end. I am going to try and get it entirely set up today. I don't know if I'll be able to do that in one stream. I might do a late stream later today. Depends on how things go. So this one's ready to go. And I hope everybody's able to hear me while I'm doing this. Anyway, I did set a super chat goal for a little less than 2 hours. It's me doing a polite political rant. I call it a rant just because it's a long-held opinion that I don't get to express very often. And it's clearly political in nature. The drink for today is SodaStream Mountain Dew Code Red. Oh, we're up to 12 people. All right, let's see. I think we got a new chat. Let's see. Gwen says, so your cats are just turning up their noses at the exercise wheel? They are pretty much entirely ignoring it. They're not even like snubbing it. They're just like, okay, we're just going to walk around this thing, which is not really in public view. You know, I mean, it's not directly in a walkway, but they just pretty much ignore it. And Vice Baby says Mountain Dew Code Red is the best. For SodaStream, yeah, I think it is. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not the red dye might be causing a problem. But considering I didn't start drinking it until well after this problem has started, I'm pretty sure I'm okay. All right, so another orange one next. And just need to remember to do the mist down every time. And pretty soon we will have fewer static issues. Get a nice good grip. All right, so looks like it's the rightmost ones that are causing the issue. I'll just take it nice and slow because they do unroll. They just gotta be careful they don't bind and pull the cone off the rack. It does affect the tension feed a little bit, but not enough, I think, to cause a problem. All right. And this braid should run relatively fast. If I remember right, I was able to get down to about 1 leaf in 20 minutes, but that was by myself, not necessarily live streaming. Go. Almost had a single thread not go through the loop. That was 1 and 2, and 1 more for 3. Go. That one's a little long. Let's cut off some of the excess because I don't want it to snag when I'm unrolling them, because that's annoying. So let's tie it off. Let's set this for the right draw length. Yep. And we'll walk this one back. All right. Let's make sure that we are even tensioned. Yep. All right, so make sure we put this on the correct side. Not necessarily top or bottom, but where I'm adding onto, not where it started from. Tama a little closer. That's easier to tie off. And one. And crap, I missed part of that loop. Can I untie it? No, but I can trim it up. The excess is not going to make a critical difference. Just go ahead and this excess here. There we go. And let's make sure everything is, the tension is off. Pull that snug. Okay, set this over here where it won't get pulled. And re-walk this one down tension-wise. There we go. Yeah, one thing I found recently, especially when I tried constabling yesterday, well, I did successfully constable, it wasn't just trying. Give me a second here. Still want to work this tension a little bit better. There we go. Apparently walking with my issue is more tiring than it has been. So I don't know if it's things getting better, things getting worse. Because previously it'd been more my arms, but and I still might wind up going to the ER. Sorry if I'm talking too much about my medical stuff, but as you can understand, it's taking up a lot of my mind at the moment. But yeah, I still have, I think, a couple hours left to go on Nick's watching Nick's live stream from last night. I did catch his local stream, which was nice. So I'm wondering if maybe I should do a knot around both of them when I'm done. Let's see how difficult that is to do. Pull it tight. Nice there. And yeah, that mostly works. I might start doing that now just to make sure that they don't come loose when I'm close to the end. And let's get the Larkset knot on here. And I will catch up with Chet. Alrighty. That looks good. Had a lot of chat come in. All right, so let's see. Hey, it's Marmar. Marmar, nice to see you. Hi, chat. I'm excited for a new braid. And Dave, MLS Law, making law simple. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you. And Gwen says, hi, Marmar. And happy Easter, Dave. Marmar says, hey, Gwen. And Marmar says, what's the colors for this braid? Orange and navy, black. It's orange and black. It's the colors that Megan Fox wanted. So I could say we are doing like a Halloween theme if we want. And Gwen says, I don't know. I think I missed that from the last stream. And Marmar says, I missed a lot, feels like. And Gwen says, it's okay, Torin. Thank you very much for that, Gwen. I appreciate it. I just don't want to make this a depressing stream. One of the things that listening to Nick's stream is that people having fun is a lot more positive stream building than drama or sad things. So I'm trying to focus on the happy things. The fact that I got my printer working again is making me very happy. I was actually considering doing a additional feed of the printer printing, since I found a way to do a camera down there, and down there being the basement. I was considering that, but I didn't quite have the energy to get both of them set up, and I figured if it's a longer stream, having it stop in the middle, because the next thing I'm going to print is supposed to only take about an hour and a half. And it's probably going to require tweaking. I figured I'd get that taken care of and make sure that I've got the printer working well before adding it into the stream. I do actually have my first sale for my stuff, though it's to my sister, and I'm giving her the family rate. I do actually have a sale for some of the stuff I've gotten to do, so I will be working on that primarily. With the 3D printing for the immediate future, because it's nice because she's letting me work out some of the kinks on production without having a shipping deadline or anything like that. I'm going to try and have kind of a little bit of a stock built up before I start accepting orders to be done as opposed to orders for stuff that is already done. And we'll feed this through here. But yeah, Nick was the one who originally kind of let me have the expectations of what I would need to do to be relatively successful with my channel. Back when I was just watching him. As far as you're not going to get paid to be on somebody's channel, and you shouldn't pay somebody to be on your channel. The networking that is done through YouTube is like cross-pollination, exposure to other people's audiences, and I figure that also running my own channel, I get a lot better at the free-form talking and interactions. So I'm working on that as well. All right. And so those two are together. Let's go ahead and do the pass-through double knot. Let's make sure we get this one lined up correctly. Tension is good for both. Let's get my finger out of the center of the knot before I tension it. There we go. Looks good. All right, this puts us at 6 out of 66. So we are 1/11 of the way done. And we've been at it for about half an hour, not counting last stream, which I only did one. All right, so that looks good there. Let's see, any more chats to catch up with? Nope, nothing since the last one through. All right. And since I forgot to prep one last time, still need to prep 2 more. Basically, I'm taking them from the last braid that I did and undoing the lark's head knot and doing a closer in snip for the old thread that was on there, which was also orange and black. And one is just about ready. It's definitely warm up here. Probably could put a fan in the window, but if I remember right, the microphone's pretty good about cutting out the background noise for that, but not something I'm up for dealing with today. There we go. There we go. That one's prepped. All right, so yes, we're doing an orange one next. And yes, I am avoiding sitting down when I can because standing up does take a fair amount of effort. At least I have it set up to where it's a doable amount of effort. If anybody sees Megan pop in the chat, please let me know. I want to give her a wrench. Figure that's something I should probably start doing. Not that my chat overflows, but it does occasionally get a little busy. Also, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to start posting to my normal braiding location, so we should start getting a little bit better attendance relatively soon. One more, and we're ready to walk this one back. When we hit an hour, I should have a pretty good idea of how many I'm going to be able to do this stream. Yeah, this one's a little twisted around itself. Before I pull the next orange one, I'm going to take a look at a couple of the cones, see if there's anything I can do to improve that. That was annoying. All right. Pass through on the adding side, not the already added side. Okay. And it's looking good for the first knot. Go. And make sure I don't get the other knot tied in just yet. 2. And 3. There we go. Nice even tension here. Let's go ahead and do the pass through knot. And there we go. Looks nice. All right, so this is one on the left, which means I need to do my weave. I don't have to do it on the right because there are new ones that are added on. All right. So, if I remember right, I always start with under. So we go, oops, nope, oh, yep. All right, so under this and over the other one. We'll set it there. All right. Marmar says, what is the pattern for this one? Give me a second here and I will show it to you. It's in the thumbnail for the stream, but depending on how you click it, you may not have seen it. This is braid pattern 49, and Rodrick Owen's Making Kumihimo book. All right. So this is the pattern. Let's see if we can't get a little better light on it. And this is most of the pattern. And this is the rest of the pattern. So I'm wondering how I'm going to do that. I'm thinking currently I'll either put the book on kind of like a music stand and flip through, or I might go ahead and take individual pictures and bring them up so you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. All right. And set up to tama again, so I don't forget, and I start building a reserve, so when I do forget, it's not an issue. And sorry for not bringing it up because I'm not close to the mouse right now, but Marmara says it's beautiful. At least I think that's what it is. Yep. It's kind of a leaf pattern. I call it a laurel leaf because I did it for a friend. I initially did it for a friend of mine who was getting the SCA award and joined the Order of the Laurel. And since our household has red and black as the colors, I did red and black. I think I've shown it on stream before. I'm not sure where the little piece I saved from it is, but when Megan wasn't sure what pattern to pick and was willing to go with my choice, I figured this would be a good one. I haven't done it in like close to roughly 19 or 20 years. And it'd be interesting to see, since I've been doing a lot more braiding the last couple of years, how much better I've gotten at it. All right. This one is set up. All right, so black is next. Don't forget to mist down. Stand up. Let's take a look at this one. I think I see part of the issue. It looks like it was kind of on the wrong side of another one. Hopefully that'll resolve it for future going forward. We'll see if it is or not. I think I can get a couple of these working stands made up in the not too distant future. I was planning to retail them for about $300. That's with it being made out of cherry and having a nicer finish on it than a gnat or something landed on me than my current one is. And hopefully I can sell a couple of those. Get everything through on this. Not yet. It's 1 and 2 and 3. I also do a lot of counting on this on this channel, but it is what it is. Let's adjust this for length. And walk this back. Looks like this one is a little staticky and twisted. Go ahead and pull that back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Back over here. Add it on the correct side to add. But at least I don't have to worry if I go through top or bottom. Position the tama here to be able to tie it off. And if you're hearing that alarm, that is for our local volunteer fire department calling out for the people there. It'll run for, I think, a minute, and then it'll stop. And then anywhere from like 1 to 5 minutes after that, we will probably hear the truck go by. Depending if they go this way or the other way. And I messed up that knot, but not in a way that is not easily redoable. But yeah, that siren's like maybe less than 500 yards from my house. There we go. Now I've got all the threads. This one also is going to be a little easier to tie off because I can tie off at the transition point for the leaves, which it makes it much easier to do a wraparound. So there's knot 1. And knot 2. And knot 3. Let's pull that even for tension. Looks good there. Do the pass through knot to join them up as a single strand rather than double strands. And carefully, my fingers out of the way. Pull all the extra strands out. And this is a weave one, so over the first and over the second. Let's get the lark's head knot on. There we go. So it's going under the first and over the second. And we are starting to get our weave start here. All right, let me catch up. I did read this one, but didn't bring it up. Marmar says it's beautiful. And Marmar says she made a great choice. I do think so as well. And Gwen says counting is good. And Gwen says, I'm sure that alarm is louder for you than for us. Yeah, the mic here is actually really good about like cutting out background noise, but still picking up voices. I'm not sure exactly how it handles it. There's probably some sort of computer logic in there, but let me go ahead and prep 2 more tama. Speaking of which, I probably should keep an idea of how many I got left if I start getting a lot of these, so I can cut back on having to prep them. Also, once I get this actually braiding, I'll probably extend some invitations out to some of the people who've been on before who've expressed willingness to be on, like Connor or Flux or Valhalla Waits. Grifty, who is has his own channel and is a mod with on Nick's channel, has also at one point expressed a willingness to hop on with me, so I might have that happen. Yeah. I've actually been having some fun painting the skulls. They're a bit larger than miniatures. I'm still working a few tweaks out on it, but I might start doing some painting streams and whatnot. It'd be fun to paint miniatures again. I used to do a lot of miniature painting for Warhammer back in the late 80s, early 90s, back when you actually were debating whether or not lead miniatures or Britannia metal miniatures were acceptable. Now it's all plastic. Either injection molded or 3D printed. All right, so oranges are next. Hopefully that repositioning I did will resolve the issue I was having. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and even up the end here. It's got a little bit of variation. Right. Looks like I might still have an issue. Well, it does feel a little better than it was. If this goes for more than one stream, I'll go ahead and get something else worked out, hopefully. We've got 8 so far. And 1 knot. 2 knots. And 3 knots. And that one's already the right length. I don't need to even that up. Let's see which one is. It's still that one. That's a fairly direct path. I wonder why that's having the issue. All right. And make sure to add this on the correct side. There we go. looks like it got a little bit of tensioning to work out. Yeah, a little unevenness, not a whole lot, but I think I got it snug now. Reposition the tama for knot tying. One thing I didn't really consider is that the knot tying is indeed making my hands fairly tired. Hopefully that won't present an issue. All right, 1 and 2 and 3. And on this one, I'm going to actually, since I apparently still have a little bit of a tensioning issue, let's walk this back a little bit. Because one of the knots is a little on the short side. And I don't want it to come undone on its own. I'm going to do 2 knots for the pass through. Let's see. Get this first one done right. The second one will be much easier. And looks good. All right, let's do the next one. Do not do it on the leader. Do it on the actual strands of silk. Okay. There we go. All right, I think I got that one. If it keeps falling off as I'm braiding, I'll know that I didn't. All right, let's get the lark's head on here. Yeah, about an hour in, and I got about 9. At that rate, it's going to take me about 6-7 hours to get this done. Hopefully I will be speeding up and it won't be quite so bad. Oh, stage 2 tama. I don't know if the staging is slowing me down, but it might be. There's a few things I can do to make that a little faster, so let's go ahead and try that. See where we are at the 2-hour mark. And second tama is ready. All right, we're doing black. Let's see. Gwen says my feed was buffering. I'm sorry to hear that. And Gwen says, it's okay. I sped through the 30 seconds. I got behind. Yeah, my pitch, my voice is probably low enough that speeding it up doesn't make me sound too chipmunkish. Let's see if I can speed up a little bit. That one actually drew out fairly nice. Ready. There's one. And two. And three. And for those that have arrived late, I do have a super chat goal. Any super chat is allowable or will qualify. It's going to run for about a little less than another hour. And maybe I should put a poll question if I get laid off or whatever. Should I set up a give, send, go for living expenses while I get this medical issue resolved? At this point, I'm really tempted to just go back into the ER and see if the hospital can't figure out what the hell is going on with me. Because it's really impacting on my ability to live my life. And yes, I am ultra frustrated. Okay. Got tension. Okay, on this one. A little higher on the threads for the knot portion, so it's not quite so long. And one. And two. And one more, then the tie them together knot. Okay. Tension looks good on that. Yep. And this is on the add side, not the weave side. Let's start back up on the weave side for the next two. And we have 10. Up to tama, which means we have 56 left to go. If I do stop the stream before I'm done, I think I pretty much will have a second stream today. Probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern time. I can get a good 2 to 3 hours in there. One's ready to go. And orange is next. Double wrap around the finger. I wonder wonder if I should make like spinning disc or spinning bases, spinners for the bases that they can sit on and spin around easier. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. It might just be that I've got the far ones going too far horizontally before they go up through the mid-stage hole pattern. That might help. If I think that's the case, if I have a split between streams, I'll go ahead and try that. All right, there's one knot. And second knot. And third knot. Let's trim a little off here. It's just a little long. There we go. That wasn't too short. And set the length of this for there we go. Let's walk our way back. There we go. All right. This will be a weave through one. All right. That's one knot. Two knots. And three knots. And pull that even and do the pass-through join-up knot. Almost there. And good. Roll this up. And pass-throughs always start first. Oops. I get the tension screwed up on this one. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit. Let's see if I can't. Oops, screw dropped. See if I can't do a tie off again and get that little bit of excess on the other side of the knot. Okay. Doesn't help to get it stuck on the leader. All right, so let's make sure we've got the excess on the right side. Looks like we do. And get this in the right spot. where that's got. Looks like it. And as I said, the weave through ones always start on the bottom. So under 1, over 2, and under 3. I'll worry about that in a little bit. All right, and that sequence says it wasn't too bad. Speeding the video up lowers the volume for some reason. I hope that's not just me. Okay, I didn't know that. Farmer says, I understand your frustration. I hope you're able to find doctors who help you figure out what's going on. Yep. Uncertainty is a large part of it. And Gwen says, it's a frustrating situation. Not knowing what's going on with yourself physically can make you feel out of control. That definitely does that. I will say that quite easily. Yeah, we seem to have a large number of Twitter users. I'm assuming most of those are bots, but oh well. All right, and the black is next. All righty. Let's just even that up. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Probably should be doing that a bit more often. And I forgot to prep top of it, but I got a little bit of reserve, so I'm not too stressed about that. All right, we are at not 1. Not 2. And all of them in. Not 3. We adjust for our length. And walk our way back. And pass it through on the ad side. Hey, it hasn't gone off cattywampus yet. As I'm getting older, I got to start using the dad and the granddad vernacular, even though I don't have any kids. And I believe I can confidently say that it's not even don't have any kids I know about, because everybody I had a relationship in that regards. I am fairly confident I was in contact with them enough afterwards to know whether or not they had a kid in the reasonable time frame. So I believe I wouldn't say clear, because I would have liked to have had kids. I am confident of that. declaration. But considering I was like 33 years old before I met somebody that I was willing to say I loved enough that I wanted to be married to them, um, I wasn't willing to put the fact I wasn't going to be able to have kids as a um, deal breaker in that regard. I have to say that I have been very, very happy with Mrs. Torin. All right, looks good. Let's see the last few Slipknot. And get this one added to the list. Alrighty, there we go. And looks like I might have a little bit of a single thread here. Let's go ahead and roll back up. I'm not going to worry about it further down the road if it becomes an issue. There we go. All right, so under 1, over 2, and under 3. There we go. Catching up with chat here. Gwen says it's a frustrating situation not knowing what's... Okay, I already read that one. And Gwen says bots still count as views though, right? Well, they're on Twitter as opposed to YouTube. And I am very, very far away from any type of Twitter X monetization. YouTube side's running about 4 people on average, which is kind of low for one of my streams. But then again, I did not advertise this one well. We got one other person watching on Rumble. All right, so orange is next, but I need to stage 2 tama. One and 2. Now, it doesn't help putting it on the wrong side of the magnet, which fortunately is even easier to pick up than a non-magnet, since I have something metal. A couple times around the fingers. And all right. Yeah, my channel size, the most I get is super chat and membership income. The ad monetization is like maybe $2 a month or something like that. It's really minimal. And I think the majority of the, there we go, 3 months. The majority of income I've received through YouTube was from my debut monetization stream where Jeff and Ian and Rob made some pretty nice super chat donations. And then my birthday stream back last August, or actually September, I think this one was. At least it looks like it's getting a little less twisty and static separated. There we go. Yeah. It's repositioned. Should probably be checking the tension a bit more at this point. Looks good. And not one. Someone tried to cramp up on me there. And 2. And 3. And let's go ahead and pull them both, even up the knot locations on the leader. Is that one not wanting to? Just twist it around itself. There we go. All right, tension looks good. Let's do the pass through join up knot. There we go. Nice tension. And this is on a non-weave through side. And set that down here. And I'm going to sit down for this one here. All right. Marmar, when I was 39, I met my person. I have a stepdaughter, technically a stepson. He was fostered, and he had a baby in October, so I'm a step-grandma. And Gwen says, oh, I'm glad others have been able to find a person. And Marmar says, I wish mine had been able to stick around longer. I'm going to try not to cry on stream here, Marmar, but I can't know exactly how you feel, but I can pretty much have a good idea how I would feel. So let me say that I want to wish you the best going forward, and I'm glad you were able to meet them. And I'm extremely sorry that they weren't around longer for you. And you're in my thoughts and prayers. And Marmar says, sorry to be a Debbie Downer. Absolutely no problem at all. You have more than any right or ability to talk about your life on here. And I do not mind it at all. And the member chat from Marmar. Member for 18 months. That is impressive. Got to go, but I am excited for more braiding. Thank you very much, Marmar. And hope you enjoy this braid, and I hope the rest of your day goes well. And Marmar says, thank you, Torin. Yep, no problem on that. All right, so next one is black. Remember to mist. And stage tama before I start. It'll make the end of it go much faster. Okay. And so, just as an upshot where I was talking about how many ADD meds might have been causing this issue, I don't know if they did, but it is definitely the case that they make it worse. All right, so black was next. One, two, three. Yeah, that was a pretty smooth pull for those. I think the silk is finally starting to have absorbed enough moisture. Alrighty. It's not one. Not two. And not three. Let's set the length here. There we go. We'll walk our way back. There we go. And pass through on the added side. Looks like we might have a little bit of tensioning that needs to be redone. All right, I think that got it. And get the leader opened here so I can pass the threads through. And there we go. Not one. And not two. And not three. There we go. Hold it up even. All right, tension looks good. Let's set up the pass through. And we are up to 14. Stage 2 tama. Have a little soda. All right, that's set. And oranges next. I think the issue with those two end ones is they're just too far over. So I might go ahead and, if I have a gap between streams, reset that to where it's not quite so extreme of a pass over or pass up through, whatever. My words are failing me at the moment. There's one. There's two. And there's three. And set the length. Go. Now this one will be a weave through. Good on tension. Let's go ahead and get the knots tied off. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to get anything on that super chat goal, so I guess I will go ahead and deliver my quote-unquote polite political rant. Given all the stuff going on with the Trump administration at the moment, even back from his first term, my commentary that the best thing that Trump has done has been to reveal that the entrenched bureaucracy is a thing, and their overreaction to him, in my opinion, has been very beneficial for the country because they've made it too obvious to ignore that there are people who are not elected. They are not part of any real administration, so to speak. They are the rank and file, and not all of them, just a portion of them, of the government, who have a particular view on how the government should be run, and they control an awful lot of power in the government. And there is really no way to appeal, to contest, to object to what they do, because there's really no mechanism to deal with it when the people who work in the government decide that they're going to do things that aren't necessarily legal or illegal, but they have a large impact on how the country is run, and we really don't have a say in it anymore. The fact that they responded so vigorously to, so vigorously to Trump's election, kind of put it out there in the open. And I know people talk about the deep state, but I don't think that it's anything where there's like an overriding or distinct control there for anything in particular. I think it's just a lot of people who have worked in positions a long time have developed very distinct ideas of how the government should be run, and they implement their view on it, regardless of what the people in the country think one way or the other. And it's been an issue a long time where you can't fight City Hall. It's not the mayor that's the problem necessarily. It's the people who've been working at City Hall for like 30 years and will lose your paperwork if they think you're in the wrong for something. And then they even think they're doing the right thing. And they may be doing the right thing, but that's not how government should be run. And it really, before Trump came around, while there was some discussion about it, it never really was in the public eye. And when anybody talked about it, they could easily be, written off as that crazy conspiracy theorist guy. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, just the general type thing. So it's, I know it's kind of hard for me to express this. I apologize if I'm being indistinct about it, but or unclear. I'm probably what you call like a constitutional absolutist, Bill of Rights absolutist. Even when things don't necessarily go the way I think they should, if it's the way that our governing documents say it should, then we should either follow that or change it. Admittedly, part of my life, I've had some things where I've run into quote-unquote unwritten rules where I've had negative impacts on my life from things that were essentially opposite of the way that they said they were supposed to be. And when I push back on it, it's like, well, this is what we've always done, or something along those lines, or yeah, we say that, but we actually do it this way. It's like, well, you either need to do it the way you say it, or you need to write down the way you actually do it, so people know. So anyway, that's the majority of my political rant. Also, to kind of give an example of this, like well before Trump came on the scene, my roommate, who has worked as a congressional page before, was married to a political fundraiser, had told me in all seriousness and like this was something that should be expected, that the biggest problem with the Bush W running for president was that it wasn't his turn. It was supposed to be Jeb's turn, and part of the reason he was getting pushback was because everybody knew that it was supposed to be Jeb's turn to run for president, and everybody in his family and the entrenched bureaucracy was kind of upset because he jumped the queue. And that's kind of what put it on my radar that there's something out there other than what you would expect as the mechanisms of government, that it was apparently had power and had viewpoints that weren't known by the general public. And again, I respect my roommate a lot, but the fact that that was something that she believed, whether it was true or not, I don't know. I can't say. Kind of threw me for a loop, and that's when I started like paying attention. This is back in 2001 or something like that, 2002, shortly after he'd gotten elected the first time. Um, and it was kind of disturbing to me because in a government system like ours, there shouldn't be behind the scenes people or forces deciding whose turn it is to run. So crap. It should have been a black one. Now I can still do this. I just have to be careful how I thread it through. I'll have to do 2 blacks in a row. But this one can be off to the side. That's what I get for discussing politics. I lose track of the important things like braiding. Another thing is that a little bit prior to that, in the SCA, there are very different cultural views on how kings have power in the SCA because they get their position by winning a fight, and the actual administration of the SCA as a whole tends to be kingdom officers other than the king. And while the nominally the king is like completely in charge in most areas, though sometimes they have like a council that they have to deal with. In one of the areas where the king's word is law, I had somebody I knew who was one of the kingdom officers say essentially that it's a horrible officer who can't like outweight a king, as in not actually implement anything that they're told to do, just kind of like bureaucratically stall things. So we're doing 2 blacks in a row. That's black tama, not black people. Just to clarify, I'm discussing actual color of fiber and nothing else. This one's got a knot where it shouldn't have, and it doesn't look like it is too tight to tease it apart and make it not a knot. As I've said before, it's not a knot until it's tight in a knot. Fix that. Yep. All wraps around the finger. Now I've come up with something else for a super chat goal. We are in the leader. Let's make sure we get everything supposed to be. And not one. Looks nice and clean. Not 2. Also looks good. And not 3. Set the length here. Might have to stop relatively soon as my fingers and wrists are getting tired. My legs are a little wobbly, not too bad at the moment, but I don't want to fall down on the stream and not be able to end the stream. All right, so this is where I'm careful. I pass it in between the previous orange one and this orange one. Make sure all the threads pass through. Make sure it's tension right and reposition for knot tying. And go for knot 1. And the other knot keeps trying to add itself in. Finger cramp, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and keep these up, make sure tension looks good. There's one thread that's very loose. Let's go ahead and make sure that one's not get in the knot. No, that did not. All right, let's find the other end of it and bring it home. Be careful I don't extend past the end of it. Okay. All right. I got it even enough on the tension. Let's go ahead and make the pass-through knot and capture this loose end on this one. And make sure we got enough to get the braid without that one being too short. All right. Looks like I pulled that even. We'll do another one just to be on the safe side. Go. All right, so this one is also a weave through. All right, so under 1, over 2, under 3, and over 4. All right, that can go there now. Catch up with the chat real quick. That's not good, Torn. Not sure if that was my not feeling well. Gwen says that was a good rant. Thank you very much for that. And Gwen says, I'm nearly incoherent about the former current guy occupying the White House. There's just so much to point out about what he's doing, not doing. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Another black one, that's right. I got out of sequence. This will fix our sequence again. Oops. Okay, they're all there. There's just one wobble. Let's see, we're about 2 hours in. Let's check and see where we are after this one. Okay. And not one. Not two. Sounds like there's a fair amount of there's a decent amount of wind outside. Curtains are ruffling a little bit, so I'm getting some good airflow up here now. That's helping a lot. Adjusted for length. Let's walk this one back now. And now the bundle is staying a bit better. Now it looks like the one at the far end is possibly the issue. Let's make sure we got good tension on here. And there we go. Alrighty. Let's reposition this. Tension looks good. If I can tie this off without a problem this time. And knot one. Looks like everything's in the knot this time. Knot two. And knot three. All right, and looks good tension-wise. So let's go ahead and do that. Pass through knot real quick. There we go. Looks like we got some staticky unevenness. A little bit of orange thread that's caught in here. Yeah, this is going to need some misting down to fix before I can see if I've messed up or not. Let's do that real quick. All right. Yeah, looks like we have one that is a little bit longer than the rest. All right. We'll do another pass through, see if we can't trap the excess on the other side of that knot. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, we're at 18, so we're doing about 9 or 10 an hour. Might be able to get another orange and black done. I'm not going to worry about prepping at this point. One, two, three. I'll set for light here real quick. And walk this one back. That'll make it easier. Yep. And let's go on tension. There's not one. First attempt at not two failed. Let's try it again. There we go, not two. And not three. There we go. We're evened up. Do the pass-through joining knot. There we go. And this is a weave through. And they all start on the underside. They're passing under. All right, so we go under the first, over the second, under the third, over the fourth, and under the fifth. All right, next one is black. One, two, three. Walk our way back. And pass one, or not one. Not two. And not three. Set the length here real quick. And back this up here. Miss this end a little bit more. And pull to make sure our tension is good. They're roughly the same lengths. And snip. And reposition this for the second knot. Tension looks relatively good. And one, two, a little bit of an issue with that second one, but I think it'll be okay. And three, look for evenness. Check the tensioning. I think we're reasonably good. Let's go ahead and do our pass through. Join up knot. And there we go. And this one will get weaved through as well. It's a little staticky and dry, but I think it's close enough. All right. So this will give me 20 out of 66, so not quite a third of the way through in about 2 hours. That's not bad. I think I'll do a couple of things between streams to hopefully fix things up and run a little faster. Under 1, over 2, under 3, over 4, and under 5. All right. Let me catch up with chats real quick. When said did I miss you weaving those ones in? I did miss one, but the ones that wind up here on the left are the ones that get woven through. These just get added on. And Gwen says, did you hit the trifecta today? Like, subscribe, and ring that bell for all notifications. We've had like 23 views and 8 likes. So about 1 out of 3 people hit like. And let's see. Got 2 people watching on Rumble right now. Got 9 people watching on X. All right, let me do it quick. That's what I was looking for. No new subscribers, so nobody hit subscribe. Or if they did, somebody else was unsubscribed. So, all right, so we were about 2 hours in. I got 20 done, which is about 10 per hour. So I've got about 46 more to go. So we are looking at about 4 hours, a little more roughly, but I think I can get it done in 3. So let's see, it's about 1:30 right now Eastern. I might do one at 4 If not, I'll do it at 6 p.m. Eastern. I got to talk to Mrs. Torrin about what she wants to do, and we'll go from there. Thanks everybody who stopped in. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to getting back into braiding again. As always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.